It's Thursday's edition of Business Incorporated on Channels Television, and it's a pleasure to have you. I am Bisi Adebayo. On the show today, World Bank keeps its crude oil price forecast for 2017 unchanged at $55 per barrel. And South Africa's Competition Tribunal confirms a 69.5 million rand settlement with Citibank for its role in rigging rand currency. Plus, Ghana's gross domestic product growth in 2016 GDP stands at a provisional figure of 3.5%, down from 3.9% in 2015. Well, let's kick off the show now with the markets, starting from Africa, where all the numbers are trending northwards at intraday, except the Egyptian index, which is down 0.51%. Nigeria's all-share index was 0.45% higher at intraday, while the GSE index was also up 0.79% at intraday. Kenya was also seen higher by 0.8%. And elsewhere in the Middle East, shares in two Saudi banks that are in early merger talks moved in opposite directions on Thursday, while other regional markets moved little in thin volumes. The Saudi index was seen 0.35% higher at intraday, and Dubai's index slipped 0.64% as 15 shares declined and 11 advanced. In neighboring Abu Dhabi, the index shed 0.62%. Qatar's index edged down 1.13%, heading back towards a 4-month low hit earlier in the week. And markets in Europe were lower this morning, a day after Donald Trump unveiled his much-awaited tax reforms. Investors are also waiting to hear from the European Central Bank President, Mario Draghi, and digested fresh corporate earnings. Channels TV DWTV correspondent Daniel Cook joins me now for more updates from the European market. So, Daniel, now we know the details about Donald Trump's tax reform. Of course, markets around the world seem not so impressed, and it seems investors are disappointed. Why is that the case?
Well, Donald Trump announced this historical tax reform, and yesterday he didn't even come to the media. It was his finance minister that actually released the information, stating that's what we knew already before, that corporate taxes will be down from 35 to 15%, and that there will be also lower taxes for people making less than $21,000 per year. That's pretty much what we heard from him, and this news didn't really make analysts and markets here very impressed. The reason for this is because so many details are missing. It's not really clear how he will be financing all of this. It's also not even clear if this will go through Congress, because even in his political party, the Republican Party, there is this Tuesday group that he will probably need to convince in order to get this bill through. So yeah, there's lots of speculation right now how this is going to continue. Markets for sure were not happy today. The DAX is currently down with 0.14%. Also, the FTSE in London is down with minus 0.19%, and also the CAC 40 in France is down with 1/4. So markets were not as excited about the tax reform as he was probably himself.
Now, what can we expect from the ECB announcement of interest rates today? Of course, there's a press conference going on right now. So can you give us the latest?
Yeah, there is a press conference right now with ECB President Manuel Draghi, and we already know that interest rates will be capped at this 0% level here in the Eurozone. Mostly Germany is one of the countries that is not in favor about this at all. We will remember that this 0% interest rate were actually enforced in March 2016, when Europe was still in this huge financial state of emergency, and Germany and also German's finance minister Schäuble has been stating again that this is not anymore the case, that the economy is actually be doing much better. We had new reports coming actually out of Germany today with a growth of 0.5%. So Germany is whining about this. Why this is also happening at this moment, we also have to keep in mind that the second round of the presidential election will be in less than 2 weeks. And of course, Emmanuel Macron is way ahead in the polls, but we still have Marine Le Pen also in the battle. And she is a very anti-Euro, anti-Eurozone. And the ECB really wants to make sure that this election in France doesn't get influenced by higher interest rate right now. But what I can tell you, there is going to be another ECB meeting coming up in June, and analysts here in Frankfurt do expect that at that meeting there will be higher interest rates actually announced.
Well, we'll see how all that plays out. But still talking about Germany, carrier Lufthansa came out with strong numbers in the first quarter of this year. Of course, that's happening for the first time. So can you tell us more about Germany's biggest airlines and, of course, rumors that they might be interested in purchasing Alitalia?
Well, the rumor of buying Alitalia is actually from the table. The CFO of Lufthansa announced today that this is not a topic. They are not interested in buying Alitalia. But what I can tell you is that Lufthansa, Germany's biggest airline, came out with those strong numbers for the first time also in the first quarter. That's not really happening a lot in the airlines industry because usually the first quarter of every year, because of winter time, is not very strong. Lufthansa had those positive numbers today, and the reason for this is actually not that they are so successful with their planes, because Lufthansa is struggling also, such as BA or also Air France, with big competition from low-cost carriers here in Europe, such as Ryanair or also EasyJet. So the positive result that came out today is mostly because of their division of Lufthansa Technik, which is also operating in other countries, repairing other aircrafts from airlines, and also their system division, which has software for other airlines. Lufthansa reported positive numbers of 25 million euros. And to tell you, one of the routes actually that is very successful for Lufthansa are actually flights to Nigeria. Lufthansa is flying in Nigeria to Abuja, Port Harcourt, and also Lagos, and those routes for the airlines have been very successful actually.
Well, thank you very much, Daniel Koop, for those updates coming from Frankfurt there. Daniel Koop is Channels TV, DWTV financial correspondent. We're moving on now. U.S. stock index futures pointed to a slightly higher open this morning as traders await a huge day of earnings and data. Ford, Union Pacific, UPS, and American Airlines Group are among a host of companies set to report before the bell. Alphabet, Amazon.com, Intel, and Microsoft are some of the companies set to report after the bell. But looking at the numbers now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.09%, while the S&P 500 also climbed 0.05% in early trade. The Nasdaq was also seen higher by 0.09%.